All right, all right. Shalom, shalom. I'd
Shalom.
like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Holoim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakak Kudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad. The Akim and the Aquat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shabab Amawan, and the brother Azan Amath. And this is number 3 for the 12 tribes series that we were going into. Salakia, we missed last week. Brothers had to handle a couple things, right? But Lord willing that the lesson tonight is edifying, and it's based on Asher, starting from the bottom, going all the way on up, right? And this is the third tribe from the bottom, Asher, which goes into South America, all the countries in South America except Argentina and Chile. Right, so every other country that's down there, all right, they all are representation of the tribe of Asher. All right, which we're gonna go into Genesis 30. All right. As a matter of fact, before I do that, let me just do this real quick. Lucky. Map of South America showing these if brothers could see, all right. Chile's right here on the left and Argentina's down here.
Wait, it's not sharing the screen out.
Oh, it's not sharing it? It's lucky. Oh, I got you. It's wrong. Got you. So you see it now?
God.
All right, so Chile and Argentina are down here, okay, which we know they are from Naphtali. All right, all these other countries right here, though, these are the ones representation of Asher going into Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, all right, Brazil, okay, Guyana, okay, these are all part of the tribe of Asher, which we're going to go into Genesis 13, right? Was it 13? Oh, 30, Salakia. Genesis 30 and
13.
Yeah, 30 and 13. And it says, Salakia, and it says, and Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. All right. And in the Hebrew, that's what Asher means. All right. It means happy is he, I believe it is. All right, which the brother Azan said he had a precept for that, right?
Khan, yeah, this is the book of Psalms 144 and 15. It reads, happy is that people that is such in a case. Yeah, happy is that people whose God is the Lord. All right, and speaking of the tribe of Asher, like the brother said, happy is what they're known for, being a happy people, having a happy attitude. All right, out of all 12 tribes of Israel, right, they were had a lot of life and blessings, and that went into Genesis 30 and 13. Leah says she was blessed, right? So the blessings of Asher came down to the territories, right? They were a very ancestral tribe, and they followed all the covenants until it was time to go off into those idolatry that they were into, right? And that's when the Lord said again that we were all scattered for these reasons.
Right.
All right, we go into Ezekiel 36 and 19. It reads, so I scattered them from among the nations, and they were dispersed throughout the countries. I judge them according to their ways and their deeds. Right? And Asher was part of one of those tribes that was going off into praising other idols and gods and things. But we'll get into that down the line. We just want to establish that happy is that people, right? That in such a case, yeah, happy is that people whose God is the Lord, and that's referring to um, the tribe of Asher. Go ahead, brother.
That's right. And I believe, now that I'm thinking about that, I know that their stone is amethyst, is an amethyst
Yeah,
stone, which
that's
I
right.
believe amethyst actually goes into giving you that vibe of being happy also. That's what I'm trying to see to make sure I'm right. Give me 1 second. Just to bring it out, since you were bringing out happy, I just thought about it quickly, because it does give you a certain type of, vibrations. Yep. So it does tell you that the amethyst stone is supposed to bring you joy and happiness. So that correlates with it also, going into how they are happy people. All right, and going into that also, they are very those type of people are very humble, and they're all about festivities and things like that, always bringing joy.
Well, that's the same characteristics as the Colombians and brothers like that now.
That's right.
They got all those festivals and things like that down there, right? Same thing out in the Caribbean, right? It's just a real festive people
Right.
built with a lot of tradition.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and they're down there in the that low fertile area where the pastures are rich,
That's right.
so they're able to grow all these orchards, right? Produce different oils, and like olive oil is one of their main uh, one of their main like things that are prosperous in their land,
That's right. Smell.
right? Where they can that type of agriculture where they can grow, and they were the same. This is the same. We can look at Issachar and other tribes that we can relate to that. I can say down here in California, they're on the corners of freeways with agriculture, with oranges and different pineapples. You know what I'm saying? Like different. So they're still rich into those environments, and still that rich culture, man, of producing fruit and agriculture.
That's right.
Right. And that went back from being in those low temperature areas where a lot of rainfall um, and fertile land that derived from the land of Canaan.
Mm, that's right. And going into what you were saying, they're going into where their rainforest is, all of that. That's one of the main reasons why they're very rich in that land, that whole area. Because if you even look, going back to this map that I had, if you go into this map, most of the rainforest is all in the top, in the spot where Asher's at, but it's not as rich when you go down by Chile and Argentina, all right? Because you had Esau that went out there and was destroying a lot of the rainforest and all that. But
That's right.
the most fertile is all around where the Amazon River is at, which the Amazon River comes right through here, right? And then you have all these different branch offs that go into all the other countries that are part of Asher, all right? And going into what you was just saying, let me bring this up, if I may, Baba Shaw. This is Genesis 49. All right, how you were saying that they're rich with their fruits and their vegetables and all that, which I believe they have over 3,000 different types of fruits just through the rainforest alone, right? And then going into their oil, they're very big. They're one of the top producers in oil from that area. All right, so let me bring this out. This is Genesis 49:20. It says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. All right, which we go into this word, his bread, right? It says lachem, all right? It says bread, food, grain, okay? Bread, it says bread and corn, right? Food in general, okay? So just bring out, I have it somewhere in here. Give me 1 second, it might be this one. Give me 1 second. I know I brought it up.
Is that the Deuteronomy 33:24 to the
No, I didn't bring that one out yet.
Okay.
That was this was out of Genesis 49. And it said, I'll take it back real quick. Genesis 49, and it says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Right. So going into that, here you go. This is matter of fact, let me bring it one more time. Bread went into lachem, and it went to bread, food, grain, bread, and corn. Okay. This right here proves, right? This is number one fact. This is I think it's 10 facts about the Amazon rainforest. It says around 80% of the food we eat originally came from rainforests. Some of the more popular examples include coffee, chocolate, rice, tomatoes, potatoes, bananas, black pepper, pineapples, and corn. Right, so that's right there proven, right? Like it tells you right here, bread and corn, their bread shall be fat, right? Their grain, all right, meaning what? It's going to be the richest because of the area that they're in. And like it says right there, 80% of the food we originally eat come from these rainforests. That's why when you look at your fruit, they always say it comes from Chile, or it says it comes from somewhere down where South America is. Right, and this is why Esau constantly will go to these different countries, all right, and basically try to steal those resources, take those resources because they're so rich in the resources, that they're around. It's because the Lord is always blessing our people at the end of the day. So that's one of the blessings that Asher was given, that they will be rich in that area.
Kind of what happens is Esau takes advantage of those resources. So what they do is, and this is what they do to a lot of poor countries, right? They will go into their land, get what they have, right? They won't pay them the proper per diem for their product, right? They'll just give them pennies of the dollar because they understand that there's no other way that they can get off what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so they're not gonna. They can't trade and sell like we can do over here in America, right? So what Esau and Moab and these other countries do, they'll go into these fertile lands, right, and they'll basically steal the products, right? Olive oil, okay, almonds, right, different breads.
That's right.
Right, they're basically robbing them, because they understand that there's no other way for them to sell what they have, right? So they take advantage of it and they bring it over here to America and monopolize their monies.
That's right.
This has been happening. There's nothing new under the sun. This has been happening, all right, from the since we came over here. There's different men from different nations taking advantage of our tribes, right? Because we are the salt of the earth.
That's
So
right.
us being the salt of the earth, we're gonna bring out the best of what this world has.
That's
See?
right.
So this devil, he doesn't. He's playing. He can't, he steals everything, steals your identity, steals your resources, steals what you have, right? And then he puts a gun in your hand, and in a liquor store, right? And then westernize your people. So that's the same thing that happened to the tribe of Asher. They were victims just as well, right? They fell under that same hand, and this is why we can identify them as one of our brethren and brethren tribes.
That's right. I got a precept going off for you, was what you were saying. I believe it's in John 10 chapter. Give me 1 second. Where's it at? Yeah, is it in here? Where it says the thief is, oh yeah, right here, number 10. John 10 and 10, it says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. And I come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundantly. Because at the end of the day, that's what Esau comes to do. He comes to, terrorize everything, man. Everything that he touches, he destroys it. So everything that he's doing is to steal, to kill, to destroy, take peace from the earth, everything that we got, he wants to take away from us.
Right.
Another go ahead, you got something?
No, go ahead, bring it out. Whatever you got.
I'll bring out this fourth, because this had mentioned this before. This is number 4. One of the fourth fact, it says there are around 3,000 fruits found in rainforest, and in the West we make use of around 200 of them. However, indigenous tribes make use of over 2,000. You see, so the word indigenous goes into what? Being native. All right, showing that these the rainforest, this whole area, has nothing but what? Indigenous tribes, which are our people. What do they call our people all the time? Indigenous tribes, indigenous peoples. So that's more showing that those that are out there in South of America are part of the Israelites, all right, part of the Hebrew tribes.
Right. Well, if you can bring up Obadiah 1 and 5, Baba Kashaw.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead. Obadiah 1 and 5, it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how are thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Right. You have not stolen till you've had enough.
That's right.
Right? So you come into different areas and different regions and towns, right? And these people are gathering up every little speck of resources they have, right, to feed their infants and children, right? But Esau comes over there with a mind, okay, ready to destroy, right? What does it say? The enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy, man.
That's right.
And that's what this enemy came to do. And I don't want to put this lesson steer it to Esau, Edom, but we got to identify that we're all being chastised and or have been chastised by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, using this devil to afflict us.
That's right.
So, and that precepts with Deuteronomy 24 and 21. 23 and 24. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, then thou mayest eat grapes, thou fill thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. Mm-hmm. Right? So you're going to do this work, you're going to produce these fields, but you ain't going to enjoy them. You see? Mm-hmm. You're not going to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So even though Asher they're enriched with all these different resources, they still aren't able to how, if I could say, flip what they got. They can't benefit from it.
That's right.
because they're constantly trying to catch up.
That's right. The brother put over here, it says, doesn't plantains and bananas come from that land? That's right. They do come from that land. That's where most of those type of
Yeah, South America, Jamaica,
yep.
Dominican Republic, all those lands. Yeah, that's what plantains. You get all that from there.
A lot of farmers are forced to plant coca leaves just to feed family because government doesn't pay enough for planting the fruits. That's right. Also, they have documentaries on things like that.
God, they as far as the cocoa leaves, if you brothers or if a few sisters eat, what is it, Hershey's, Hershey products, well, that's down in the Dominican Republic, and there's a coca leaf down there, and the tribesmen and all the inhabitants of the land, they squash coca leaves, all right, with their feet,
Mm-hmm.
and they roll it in a leaf, right, and they do this whole process to get chocolate, right, to get chocolate to feed the desire of Americans and Europeans, and they do the same thing that they do that I was mentioning with the tribe of Ash. They offer them peanuts because they know that if they don't take that money, there's no one else that's going to come and buy anything from them. So you have these big corporations like Hershey's, right? Where you thinking you eating some chocolate? Well, no, man, that came from. You got to go back and see how your food gets from the farm to your fork.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The process of how it happened. And that goes the same thing with these dainties. That's a part of those dainties that you just mentioned.
That's right.
Right? Chocolate, the coca leaf, right? The plantains.
Okay. Going into those dainties too, which let's go into that word. It says he shall yield royal dainties. Let me see what it just says in the Strong's, which is just saying king. Let me see. I didn't give enough right there, but let's go into them dainties. It says dainty food delight, which, hey, look, that even right there, happy means you're delighted. Going into that word, how we was going into how it means, happy, happy is he. Dainties also goes into, that's why they want to, oh, look, cheerful. It says cheerfully, pleasure. I was gonna say they had the biggest, they hold, what do they call the carnival out there? They had that carnival, one of the biggest
Wicked.
parades that they do out there. Wicked as hell, yep. But their dainties are brought there, their food. That place is loaded with all types of different types of food. That you got literally people that come from all different types of the world just to actually go out there and bring out the, to taste these foods. So they have royal dainties, that's all also going into them carnivals and these traditions that they hold, which, like the brother said, they're wicked as hell. All right. But showing how they are, always in a cheerful state of festivities, revelry. What is that? I believe that's the word that they use, going back to worshiping, what is it called? I forgot the actual deity, but it's some, going into some type of crazy ass worshiping they do. Let me see what else we got. Oh, let me jump into Slovakia. Going to 30 Deuteronomy 33. Where does it say Asher? 1 second. Zebulun, Gad, Asher. Here we go. 24. It says Deuteronomy 33 and 24 says, and of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children. All right, which that's something again, you know, down in South America, man, they all about having, you know, children. You know, they constantly blessed with children. Right. It says, let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Right, which they're very heavy into oil also. Let me see, where did I have that? Yep. This is Venezuela. Okay. Top 10 countries with the largest oil reserves in 1,000 million barrels. All right. Venezuela is ranked number 1. You see? So that's that oil that they're dipping their foot in. All right. Not only that, you know, oil going into how beautiful the land is, you know, going back into how rich that land is. Right. I believe there's another one I had too. Yeah. This says in 2021, Brazil was the largest crude oil producing country in Latin America and in the Caribbean, with an average output of over 2.9 million barrels per day. Mexico followed with around 1.7 million barrels daily. All right. So this is again showing you, all right, that these scriptures match up with what's going on, how the Lord, you know, how Jacob said that in his last days, these were the things that were going to happen to his sons. This is where they were going to be at. All right. This is how you match up these tribes. Okay. Showing that they are the ones that fit the Hebrew Israelites. All right. In these last days. All right. You got something, brother?
Well, they were also carried away in that prophecy we go through and Wisdom of Solomon, Second Ezra 14 to 13.
That's right.
They're part of that prophecy. So this is all prophetic. So they've been scattered into these lands, right? And we already established that every king out of the northern kingdom were all wicked. So they were praising these other gods and idolatry. So you just mentioned that they have carnivals and things. So that's where all that is derived from, right? They bring out all that that ancestral praise, right, and praise dead spirits and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
This was all from that spiritual fornication. All right, it was spiritual fornication that's been entered into these northern tribes, and what's the scripture say? Even till this day, they are still in it, right? And this is how we identify that we are under these curses, man. See, we can always go down the process of elimination, because the Lord said, "This is the seed of Jacob." Right? And Jacob has his what? He has his 12 tribes, and Asher was one of them. Right? So Genesis 26 and 4, you were speaking about children, right? It says, I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven.
That's right.
I will give unto thy seed all countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. For all the nations of this earth are blessed because we are the salt of this earth. So without the Israelites on this earth, this whole place wouldn't function right.
That's right.
You know, the Lord said he hates a false balance. So you need the Israelites on this planet to keep things moving, right? Just off another topic, the so-called black man, all right, they purchase more goods in America, spend more money than any other race. You see, so they keep Babylon running. It says, shall all the nations be blessed. So us being scattered, All right. The Lord said, multiply, be fruitful. Well, that's what you mentioned, that they are the children of the Lord.
That's right, brother.
So our seed, until our seed should be multiplied. And when we go to Revelation, the 7th chapter, this same tribe falls under one of the tribes that's being saved. Right? And I'll just pull that up. All right, if you got it. I think it's Revelation 7 and 6. It is. Revelation 7 and 6 reads.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. I was trying to grab something else for the next sentence. 7 and 6, you said?
7 and 6.
It says, of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000.
Right. And Revelation 7:3 says, saying, heard not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So Asher is one of the servants, all right, which is one of the particular elect that's going to get saved out of here with the other 11 tribes.
That's right. That's right.
We cannot exclude our northern brother, our northern kingdom brothers, right? And this is why we have to, we got to defend the gospel, man. You know, you got these brothers that's only, all black, only Old Testament Israelites. Well, your doctrine doesn't match up with the scriptures, because the scriptures say that the northern kingdom will be under these same curses just as well. Right? And this is what we're going through, getting this understanding.
That's right, brother. I wanted to bring this out because after Deuteronomy 33:24, Salaka, we jumping around, we just trying to prove points.
Just going for the spirit.
Yep. So let me read this again, 33:24, and it says, and of Asher, he said, let Asher be blessed with children, let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. And it says, thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and in thy days so shall thy strength be. And going into this, all right, this is in pre-Columbian America, right? Going into the South American countries, okay? It speaks about how iron was never smelted by Native Americans, thus the New World never entered a proper iron age. Let me see what I was reading to that. Salakia. It says, before European discovery, and the term is not used of the Americas, but there was limited use of native unsmelted iron ore from magnetite, I believe that is, iron pyrite, and ilmenite, iron titanium, especially in the Andes, Chalvin, and Moche cultures, which that goes into all that whole area right there. Right, going into where Colombia is at, where basically where the tribe of Asher is, with a little bit of also where Naphtali also is, because that's where you have the Andes mountains over there. But this is showing that there was going to be iron in that area too.
Right.
Brass. All right. I know I seen somewhere, I forgot where I seen it. Let me look at it like this real quick. South America known for iron, brass. I think I've seen it like this. It says top Latin American mine producers by product 2021. It says in 2021, Brazil was the largest iron ore producer in Latin America. You see? So that's speaking of that iron again. All right. And if speaking about the iron, that brass has to be involved also somewhere down the line. you know, precious metals and gemstones,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So these are all things. It says iron and brass, twin twin beds, Salakia. But this just proves more that, you know, these scriptures is on point, you know, because it says thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. Right. Another thing I wanted to bring out, something that you was mentioning before, going into those I believe you mentioned what was it? Oh, Salaki. Oh no. Satan felt like he had to turn on the TV. Yeah, going into how we were already, you know, we were pushed out here through that, you know, that Syrian captivity and all that. This is actually something I had took a screenshot of when I was looking the other day through my phone. It says the original Brazilians were the native Indians who had inhabited the American continent long before Europeans arrived. At the time Europeans came there were 250 tribes of Tupai Guarani Indians in Brazil. And this was in 2020. They was talking about this, you know, showing that you know, our people were already here, man.
Well, they came over that first trip.
That's right. This is another thing. It says, is Hebrew an indigenous language, right? Because they're called the indigenous peoples, right? And it says of these 15 are non-indigenous and 19 are indigenous.
You got the blue letter up.
Oh, Salakia. No. I'm not reading it from there. I'm reading this from the actual.
Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't. I was trying to find it so I could show up on the screen, but I forgot how I got into it. But I'm just reading it from my phone right now. This actual screenshot that I took. And it says of these 15 are non-indigenous and 19 are indigenous. Hebrew and Arabic are the official languages of Israel, and they are the languages spoken daily by most of the population. All right, so that's just another, you know, which we already know that Hebrew is the mother of all languages at the end of the day. You know?
Yeah.
What else I got here? It says, what do native, this was going into Brazilians also, because a lot came up on Brazilians because the Brazil is the biggest out of all them countries, you know. It says the most common garments worn by uncivilized Brazilian indigenous people or those who have had little contact with society are the loin cloth, the petticoat, or the belts that cover their sex, made from animal feathers, plant leaves, tree bark, seeds, or beads. You know, I was trying to see if they had anything on fringes, which I got. Where is it at? This is the most I could get. Indigenous peoples and fringes. It didn't really show too much, you know, but it shows how our people, you know, how they dressed up. And I believe, was it this one? Yeah, this one, look, showing how they kind of have them fringes on,
Right.
you know, which I'm sure if you continue to keep searching, you'll get in deep with it, you know. But this is definitely our people keeping those customs, you know, of holding them, you know, them fringes, the feathers, you know. It's kind of hard to really get all these because it always throws you off when you try to, you know how Esau is, he try to throw you off in a whole nother way. This is a picture right here, you know, it came up when I brought up Brazilians, which this is part, This is probably going more into Gad, it looks like. Yeah, more on Gad.
Yep, it is.
Yeah. I was trying to bring it up from like, from South America, but it always played around too much. Slovakia. Hold on. What else we got? Oh, I wanted to play this too real quick since we was talking about the rainforest and all that. If I may, real quick. Where's it at? Right here. It's 4 minutes real quick. See what it got to say. It allows me to play it. And that's why they're rich. That's why they're so rich too, because it's the largest in the world. Ain't no place bigger than that. This rainforest right here. So that really goes into them having them royal dainties. The bread, like I said, their bread will be fat. Because they have the biggest rainforest in the world.
Oh, the sound.
Huh?
The sound.
The sound is too loud?
I can't hear nothing.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Really? It's all the way up.
You brother to the sound?
I don't know. Let me see if they can hear the
No
sound.
sound. Yeah, it's no sound.
No sound, huh? Oh, wow. Let me try this. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how to go with that. About now.
La.
Huh? Damn. I can hear the sound. It's just playing it on my end. I don't know why it's not playing it. Let me see. Settings. Slovakia, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I don't even know why it's not playing the sound. Yeah, I don't know why. It's showing. Oh, mute. What's this? Hold on. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, no. Still not coming out?
Yeah, no sound.
Oh, yeah, then I don't know what happened there. Slovakia, I won't even play that then. But it was going into how they were saying how it was the biggest, producer of everything, we were speaking about earlier. And I believe at one point it speaks about how oil, is very big over there and all that. Because I was looking at it before, like a little clip. It was only 4 minutes. Wanted to bring it out just to prove out more. But Slovakia, man, I don't know why it's not bringing it out. Let's see what else we could bring. You got something else to say, brother?
Well, I wanted to bring out when I was going into about the Northern Kingdom.
Oh, go ahead.
About Rehoboam. This was, his Rehoboam's grandson.
Yeah.
When we know about Jeroboam and Rehoboam, and we know that, like I said, they were all wicked on the tribe of the northern tribes, the house of Israel.
That's right.
That was around I think around 920, 930 BC, where the northern tribes split from the house of David to reform the kingdom of Israel, right? And we refer them to the northern kingdom. Well, Asher has remained a member of the northern kingdom until this day, because they were conquered by Assyria, right? And that was around 700 AD, BC, 700 BC, right? So the lost tribe, this is how we're identifying the lost tribes, that you will be lost anymore, you will be found. And we're going through archaeological evidence, right? We're using the scriptures, right? We're going through the spirit, right? And you can match up characteristics as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we identify these people. And one of the blessings is said that they would be rich and make dainties of a king. And that's going through that Central America is a fertile land, and what they can produce. This is part of the blessings, right? But it's also a curse, because how prosperous the olive oil is. I mentioned earlier how different countries take advantage of them. You see? So this is the land that Joshua conquered, right? And Joshua was a strong man for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. He came, he rose up before Moses fell. Moses never went into the wilderness. Joshua did.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when we learn that going through the book of Judges, and going through the Philistines and I mean these occurrences, right? So they have been, just what you're showing right there to the screen, how that's a rich people, man. That's rich in culture right there.
That's right.
Right? You don't see people walking down the street, in America, right? You would have to find them in certain
parts
where it's just a small community, right? So stop right there, Baba Kashaw. There's that. Click on to that Brazilian Jesus, right? See, that's part of that witchcraft right there.
That's right.
That's part of the idolatry right there. You see, and that's part of why they got scattered, just like the Judah and all the rest of the tribes.
That's right.
Right? Spiritual fornication and idolatry.
No, this is in Peru.
That's in Peru?
Yep.
So they got one to see that these big
I believe, Salakia, brother, I believe in every country they have one out there in South America. Like every single country has some type of Caesar Borgia somewhere.
Right. So, and to match that up, this is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
The devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. Right? Devising of idols. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to punish you, all right, for praising other gods.
That's right.
Right? And so Asher is one, and that's why Asher's, Colombians, down there in Brazil, they are down there getting hit with pestilences.
That's right.
They've always had a big population of AIDS.
They're actually getting hit real hard right now in South America with all types of different the economy falling and everything.
The economy is falling off. They're getting hit with hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mexico getting hit with hurricanes. These different tropical rainstorms.
That's right. And speaking, I believe so. I think Venezuela they completely fell with the dollar. I don't think they even have money out there anymore. If I'm correct, I don't know if I'm going. Something I think I heard somewhere. I could be wrong. Salaki if I am, but I do believe that they don't even deal with money anymore over there.
Well, a lot of these governments have totally abandoned themselves and crashed, so they don't have a government, right? There's no government at all. And then through the Spirit, that happened before, right? When Saul was king, they had a centralized monarchy, right? So there was no central government that existed. So they couldn't go to no one. Right? So everybody for themselves. That's what's going on right now. Ain't nothing new up under the sun.
That's right.
And this thing just keeps repeating itself.
That's right. And it's gonna repeat itself with most of those 10 tribes anyway. You know, because they were all falling into the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's gonna keep repeating itself until the Lord come back, man. Right? Because Asher is one of those tribes that's heavy into voodoo and witchcraft and all that shit, man.
And
right?
Going into that they were the ones going into like the Incas and all that, like we was talking about the last time.
Yeah.
You know, you have Peru and all them that were heavy into, you know, building them pyramids, and you know, they were pretty much doing almost the same thing that the Mayans were doing and shit like that. You know, sun god worships and all that.
Well, the book of Exodus says, "You shall have no gods before me," right? Or I'm going to punish you, and that's what's been happening. That's will continue to happen, and we're going to see more of this. All 12 tribes are going to keep getting hit with high calamity, right? High death rates. You know, and you wonder why, you know, these children are being trafficked at a high rate, and no one's looking for them. Right? It's part of you one of the curses. Right? And no one looking for no children that in Central America that's being kidnapped, taken to these different farms. These what are the farms where they're just getting them pregnancy farms.
Yeah.
They're like raping them and shit like that.
That's right.
You know, how many Judite children are on the back of milk cartons since the 80s? You can't find them.
That's right.
You see, so the Lord is going to keep putting these, you know, curses down until that yoke is off our necks.
That's right. Matter of fact, you still got that Wisdom of Solomon there?
God.
Go to 20, I think it's 27.
Okay, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 27. For the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
Yeah, and like you said, what did it say? For the devising of idols, what? And the mentioning of gods, is that?
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Yeah, no. What did it say in 27 though?
27, it says, the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
Yeah. But I thought you said the word mention in one of them. The mention. No. I thought you said the mentioning of idols, because you're not even supposed to fix your mouth to say none of these other gods. You know, and they're constantly always making mention of all these crazy ass deities, man. Bugged out. And I wanted to bring this out before. The brother made a good point, because that is true. It says the word Brazil goes into iron, because that word Brazil does mean iron. It's spelled differently. I think it's called like I think it's spelled like Brazel, something like that. Brazil. But it goes into it really meaning Brazil, which Brazil goes into iron, like it actually means iron, which that's heavy right there. Because going into what we had read before in that Deuteronomy, that 33rd chapter, thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as the days, so shall the strength, so shall thy strength be. You know, that's heavy right there. I wanted to make mention of that before when the brother had put it up.
God.
I got a couple of you still got some more?
La.
I got some just a couple little things real quick. Let me see what it says. Something I was just seeing before. It says the discovery of Jewish Indians in South America. You know, it says in the Revelation in 1644 that South American Indians prayed in Hebrew was astonishing. You know, showing that these indigenous peoples are Hebrew, man, Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
It says Hebrew DNA found in South America. You know, I don't know how legit these are, but hold on. There's another one. It says history of Jews in Latin America and the Caribbean. In the 21st century, fewer than 300,000 Jews lived in Latin America. They are concentrated in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, Haiti, Nicaragua, showing you that all these people are Hebrew Israelites. All right, you got, look, history of Jews in Colombia. Go into a little bit of it. It says, I ain't going to read too much of it, but it says the history of the Jews in Colombia begins in the Spanish colonial period with the arrival of the first Jews during the Spanish colonization of the Americas. Yeah, it says in the 18th century, practicing Spanish and Portuguese Jews, because that's what you had. You had all these European countries coming over here, and that's how they ended up coming out with, like, that's why Brazil and them speak Portuguese and things like that, because of the European, the Europeans coming over here and teaching our people all these things. Because I believe what Portugal's out there is over there by the Europeans. Correct? Yeah. Like I said, huh?
Yeah, Portugal is up there.
Yeah.
A heathen country.
That's right. Let me see what else is in here.
I'm gonna bring out this second Ezra 13 and 40.
Go ahead.
Said those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, who Salmanassar the king of Syria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. All right, and that's just going into this North America. Right, and so North America, before you hit that, you had to hit Central America first.
That's right.
So that was the first stop, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. All right, so they were captured and went into these different lands, and they were picking and sugar cane, picking, cutting down, different products, man, of the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being put into slavery.
That's right.
So the whole multitude was destroyed, right? The whole multitude was defiled. And this is how you go. This is how we identify how they keep going into these different idols and gods. all right, because they were brought over to these different lands, and they are adopting the customs of the heathen. The same thing that happened to us in America now, right? We are Gentiles to this land. We're not from here.
That's right.
We were brought over here, okay, right? And we learned ways of these heathens here in America. So us sitting here right now, all the brothers and sisters that are listening, even ourselves, we are a part of this because we're living and breathing it.
That's right, brother. So, like, I'm just looking through what you
over to a land that we're not from, and enslaved, indoctrinated, and given this westernized culture. So again, there's nothing that's new under the sun, right? These other nations, okay, they've probably been indentured servants before, right? The Irish, yeah, but you went when you were done with your term in serving, you were allotted lands for your children. You were allotted wealth, right? Well, that ain't happen to us. That didn't happen to our brothers from different tribes, and they live here in America too. They're under the curses just like us. So we make it all make sense, matching prophecy with what we see, like things like you're bringing up now, these articles, history. So it all makes sense if you could just pick up the book and read, and and have the Spirit deal with you, man. Otherwise, you're gonna be in the 2 Corinthians 4:4 spirit, where the Lord's gonna keep blinding you. You're not gonna be able to see.
I'm reading these. I'm like, as you're speaking, I'm reading these different types of things to see, like, real quick what they say about these different Jews. Like, it was one in Jews in Colombia, Brazil, Peru. And it's funny because as I'm seeing these things, you always got Esau trying to blend himself in there with, the Sephardic Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, you know what I'm saying? Trying to blend themselves in with our people, saying that they are the ones that are those people, basically. It's crazy. Like, it's like you can't even use half of the things that's in here because they'll try to put they try to throw you off. That's why we gotta know how to just take out, take the meat off the bone and keep it moving,
Yeah, this is Kedar Judah. This is 2 Kings 17:12. For they serve idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, you should not do this thing. Right? And that was the fall. All right, the division of idols. Same, and this is the thing that all 12 tribes have had a problem with: idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
You got a man with Aaron, okay, actually speaking to the Most High himself with his brother Moses, and you still come down off that mountaintop, all right, building a calf, a golden calf. Well, Moses went up, but you know what I'm saying, he still brought the glory down from the mountain to his people to find his brother with erecting a golden calf.
Mm-hmm.
That goes into, Jews always have to have a sign. You got to show us. And we have a short memory as well. Right? But we don't want to hold you brothers too long, man. We know it's late. It's an hour. It's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning in the East Coast. So we just wanted to bring out these scriptures on Asher.
Yeah, we
bring
tried to bring out
out
as much as we could, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully it was definitely edifying, whatever we brought out to prove that they are Israelites. Go ahead.
Yeah, brother. We just wanted to bring out the scriptures, brother, and brothers and sisters, give you some edification on the tribe of Asher, right? Some characteristics. And if you see these brothers in the street, or sisters in the street, you can have that conversation with them, and point to the prophecy of Ezekiel 37th chapter. All right, that hey, you're a part of the blessing. You're part of this covenant. You see, and that's the conversation we have to have. Waking up our brothers and sisters that's not have been awakened yet through the Spirit. So, so with that, man, we give all honor and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone who do well, peace and salutations to all you brothers in the four corners of the earth and few sisters that are watching. Hey, I'd like to say shalom.
Shalom, shalom.